What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I need to charge the Land Yacht. As we all know, solar is brutal in the winter and I haven't been driving around that much at the moment, so I need to get some power back in the Land Yacht because she's on her last legs. But whilst I'm doing that, I thought I'd answer a load of your questions. One in particular really stood out, and ultimately I think you, yes you, are the problem. Let's jump into it, shall we? I am down to about 18%, so let's jump out the motorhome, quickly plug her in, and then we'll dive in to the questions. It is freezing. It is biting, it really is. Now, this is just a retail park in Harlow. This is where I'm from, so I know this town very well, and there is an EV charger here. Now, it is ghost town at the moment because I am here in the evening. The only thing that's busy down here at this time of night is the cinema, but that's all the way over the other side. So yeah, as you can see, ghost town. No one, just how I like it, just how I like it. Now, let's grab the old Juicy Brucey out and plug her in, shall we? There we go, the Land Yacht is plugged in and charging with the Juicy Brucey. Now there's a bit of a weird thing on the app. It's saying it can't confirm my location, so it does give you 15 minutes. So we'll have a look. It does say it's charging, but let's just jump in the motor because it's too flipping cold to be out here in this weather. I did have a little bit more. I think because I've been driving around and I got here, I put a little bit of power back in. So yeah, it is charging. As you can see there, 114 amps coming in at the moment. Currently at 21%. 21%. I mean, it's still, you know, I need the power. I really do. So yeah, all good. I love being able to charge up like this in the winter. Normally, I don't like having the diesel heater running whilst I'm trying to film a video because it can be a bit noisy, but we're gonna have to like it and lump it in this one because it's icicles. Right, it's starting to warm up in here and we're still green there, so we are good. We are charging and we're golden. Right, let's crack into some questions, shall we? Now, the diesel heater is on, so I don't think it's going to be too loud and you shouldn't pick it up, but apologies if you do because I need it on because I want to defrost. Now, I do these every now and again, and I do want to do more of them this year because I get so many questions and I know there's so many new people to the channel. So if you do have any questions and I haven't answered you in a comment that you might have left on the video, don't worry, I will pick them up and I do try and get to them as soon as I can. And I have got a page on the website, an FAQ page, where I list my most asked questions and answer them all on that page, which I'll leave in the description below, so you can go over there and check out the FAQs because there are so many questions and I've been doing this for so long, so I want to help you out as much as I can. And I will admit, I'm not the best at replying to comments. I'm trying to get better this year. I want to answer as many as I can, but I have got a bit of an idea which I will run past you in a minute. Right, what's the worst upgrade you've wasted money on? I'd probably say flexible solar panels. I had them and I bought them when they very first came out. Like, they were the newest ones out. They'd first come out and they were a fortune. I think I paid like, I don't know, £400-500 a panel, something like that. It was a fortune. It was on the old Sundance and it had the hump. So I wanted them to go down the curve of the thing. So they heated them up and then put them on, and ultimately they were stuck to the roof. And that place, which is an actual sham that done it, Cowboys that fitted them, place down in Reading, they nearly burnt my motorhome down, which I'll put a link to the video years back that, yeah, they just wrecked my electrics, they really did. So I'd say it would be flexible solar panels and not finding someone to do decent electrics, because yeah, they nearly burnt my motorhome down and I spent a hell of a lot of money with them. Ultimately, Cowboys. What's the longest you've gone without using a campsite? I'd probably say, I haven't actually recorded it, so it's a stab in the dark, but I'd probably say about a month. Yeah, I mean, over in Europe I didn't really use them very often. So I used airs because there was a lot of airs over there and there's a lot of wild camping, so I just used that. I would probably say like six to 8 weeks over there. I think I used one at the very start and then maybe on the way back. I don't know, I can't remember. But over here, I would say probably about a month would be the most. Yeah, but then I do stop at showgrounds and things like that when I'm in festival season. So, you know, I've got places to empty waste and all that there. So I've got nothing against going to campsites. I do quite like dropping into them and using them. They make van life easy and very sustainable. I made a whole video about that, about how you can just use campsites every 10 days to live van life and make it easy. Next one is, how do you decide if a spot is safe enough to stay? Well, I mean, for me now, I've got, you know, the gut feeling and I've got intuition. I just know if a place is, you know, feels right or it doesn't, and I trust my feeling. If you're brand new to it, then I would just say, just run with it, but always have 1 or 2 backup spots. And if anything feels off, then just leave. Don't hang around to try and, you know, be a hero, get some brownie points or anything, because no one's giving a gold medal out. No one gets hero points. It's only you that's going to have a bad night's sleep if you don't like the spot and you don't feel safe. I do, you know, judge an area, which is pretty harsh. But if there's loads of rubbish around, loads of graffiti, things like that, if there's like really dodgy parking, like just not considerate parking, then I will judge an area pretty hard, and I'm like, no, I probably wouldn't stay here. Things like that, and you just, I know, again, it's a snapshot judgment. It really is. You're doing it there and then, very quick. You're making that, you know, face value judgment, which, you know, we shouldn't do in life, but we do, because I don't know anything else about the area apart from what I'm seeing. So I'm judging that area by its cover. The book, I'm judging the book by its cover. So yeah, if you do feel anything, just go with your gut and just make sure you have a couple of backup spots so you can just move straight onto that one without any hassle. Is living off grid actually easier now than when you started? Oh, now, I mean, yeah, I mean, the batteries have improved so much. When I first started, they were lead acid and they're heavy, and like my LEDs would slowly dim as the more power I took out of them. They'd just go dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, and it's like, oh no, no, no. And then I remember back in the day, I was recharging my motorhome, especially during COVID, through a power bank. So I had a little power bank, I think it was like a Power Oak, the little orange square one. I think it might be the AC50 or something, old school, proper. And I was charging it in the lorry through the night on 12 volt whilst driving around in the truck doing my shift, and then I'd come back and I'd plug it into the side of the motorhome to try and put a little bit of power back in it. It was dire, it really was. Now, I mean, I'm rocking like 460 amps under my butt right now where I'm sitting. I've got the EcoFlow power banks, I've got a massive inverter, and everything's just so more efficient, and it's always changing and updating. But yeah, it is so much easier, and that's just talking about the power. When it comes to other stuff, is it easier? Like, because obviously living off grid, you still need your water, you still need to get rid of your waste and that, and they change. You know, I use campsites a lot now. I'm full time, you know, away from work, so I use campsites quite a lot. You know, every 10 to 14 days I'll go to a campsite, use their facilities, do my laundry, do everything else, and then move on. So that makes things easy, and you know, there's a lot more campsites popping up and different kind of sites here, there and everywhere. I mean, what I'm doing right now, I'm charging from an EV point with a Juicy Brucey cable, which is absolutely flipping game changer. If you told me we was gonna have them like almost 10 years ago when I first started this, I mean, I've been in it almost 9 years. If you had said that day one, oh yeah, you'll be able to charge your motorhome, you know, from an electrical EV charging spot, I'd be like, no way, dude, no way, that's not happening, or that's going to be well into the future. But here we are, things change and things advance, and now I'm charging my motorhome. It's going to probably cost me a fiver to charge. That cable, game changer. Flipping love it. It is so much easier nowadays. Now this question is going to interest quite a few of you, because a lot of you assume these things. So the question is, do brand deals affect how honest you can be? Of course. Now there's so many avenues to this. It can. I'm not going to beat around that bush. Obviously, if you are being paid, you're being given something, then sure, it can. It depends on how you're in this. If you're in this for the long term, then you really, don't want to you don't want to allow anything like that to influence you, because ultimately your audience is your lifeline. It is what you're building. You don't want to cheapen yourself. You don't want to, things like that. Now, I do sponsor deals, I do brand deals. I've worked with lots of sponsors before and lots of companies, and I do it as honestly and as respectfully as I can to both you guys, myself, and the products, to try and fund the channel, fund my lifestyle. This is what I'm doing full time. This is my job. Now, I will tell a story quickly. I'm not going to mention any names because this is where it gets very difficult and very murky. I can't publicly come out and say, hey, this product, for instance, this wallet is rubbish, don't ever buy it, all this and that. Now, I can, but then this company is never ever going to work with me. And if they've produced, say, 10 items beforehand that are really good, really fantastic, and this now sucks, and you've worked with them for many, many years, then, if you now publicly humiliate them, they're not going to want to work with you anymore, are they, right? I had this with a company. They've had a few products out before, and they're fantastic products. They brought out another product. They sent it to me. They told me, this is the product. Can we do a video? It's a sponsored video. They're going to pay me. And I said, I can't. I don't like the product. It's not any better than the previous model. In fact, it's got a few features taken away from it, which make it inferior. It's not as good as the previous model. The previous model is better. I can't advertise it. And they were like, you're the only one that said that. And I'm like, well, I'm just being honest. I don't want to say, I don't want to promote it to then damage myself, because some of you guys will just pick up straight away and you'll go, well, this has got this has got this, why are you promoting this when this is better and this is older, the previous one, and we've already got this one and it's cheaper or whatever. And that's rightfully so. So I don't want to damage myself. I don't want to damage you guys, as in you go and spend your money and buy it. But then I also don't want to damage the brand that I'm working with, because ultimately I do like the brand and they do some very good products. So this is a situation I was in. I've been here. This is an exact situation I've been in. So I went back to them and said, look, I don't care what anyone else has said. This is what I'm finding. It hasn't got this, this and this. This one has. This one sucks. This one doesn't. Your new one isn't as good as your previous one. I'm not promoting it. I said, we can waiver the fee. I'm not doing it. We'll just do it with the next one or something like that. And they said, okay, that's fine. Do whatever video you want to do of the previous model, And then all I settled on was I would mention that it's now available. So I just said, this is great. This is a product, product B, which was previous, is fantastic. I use it for this, this, and this. But by the way, product A is now out. You can go check it out. That's all I said. I didn't say it was good. I didn't say it was bad. I didn't say anything. I can't publicly come out and say, hey, product A, the newest one out of this certain feature, sucked, because, it's then gonna, taint my relationship. So it's a very broad, long way of explaining it and everything. But I hope you understand that I do have integrity. I try and be as open and honest as I can without ruining anyone, because this is my job and I love some of these brands that I work with, and I don't want to, ruin what I've built because of one product. Every company has a bad product, right? Everyone does a bad video. I've done bad videos. But you've got to have integrity. You've got to try and be able to, do the best all round. And I am big in the middle, ultimately. I want to do the best for me, for my videos, for my brand. I want to do the best for you guys, to provide you with information that's useful and relevant and interesting and nice and good and wholesome and everything, all them nice words. But then also, promote brands that want to work with me and help me on my journey without damaging them. So yeah, it's one of them ones where it's a very fine line. Now, there is no sponsor of this video. I mean, I might give you a discount to Brucey's Juicy Brucey, but other than that, there is no sponsor of this video. So I'm not working up to anything at all. But you guys know I work with a select few brands, and I have done for a long time, and I try and keep those brands, ones that I use regularly, ones that I use often, and you know, ones that you guys trust, I trust, and I can put my hand on my heart and put a video out and promote them because I know the product's good and I know the service is good. So yeah, it's quite a long way of saying people do obviously get influenced by being doing brand deals and sponsored videos and this, that and the other. But you just got to try and, you know, do as best you can for you, the brand, and the audience ultimately. You know, at the end of the day, the brands come and go, but me and you, we're like that, we're staying. I mean, I see my journey on YouTube as this long, right? And I'm only this far in, so I have got a long way to go. I am nowhere near my stride yet. I'm here for the long haul. Right, after all that waffling, I think I need to go grab a Pepsi. I think I've heard it. Now that is one brand I want to be sponsored by. So if anyone's got the connection, hook a brother up. I promote these all the time because it's the best drink in the world. None of that inferior stuff that we all know. Come on, Pepsi, sort a brother out. You don't even have to pay me, just fund the habit. What do you miss most about normal life? Normal life. Now that question does get asked quite a lot. This is normal life. I mean, my life is different from a lot of people now. I mean, I'm out here, it's 20 to 11 at night, and I'm charging my motorhome. I am a night owl. A lot of you know that. But this is my normal life now. I am very privileged. I am very in a lucky position to be doing what I want to do and living the life I want to live. But normal life, I don't know, what do I miss? What do I miss? I suppose, if anything, I do miss, and these are just like things, but they're almost like hobbies. If I was to go back into a house now and live normal bricks and mortar life, then I would have fish tanks. I miss a fish tank. I really, really miss fish tanks. Fantastic hobby. I love fish keeping. Along with that, I would have a pond if I had a garden. I'd love to have a pond. And if I had a garden, then I would have barbecues, a lot of barbecues, and smokers, big smokers, like, you know, the oil drum smokers and the pellet smokers and everything. They're just too big for me to have here, traveling on the road. Every now and again I keep going back to the idea of when I'm about smoking, and I try and think of a way to do portable smoking with the motorhome. And you know, when I'm at places, I have got a little idea for the spring and summer this year, which I think is going to work, so I've got to give it a go. And if it does, it'll be brilliant because I love smoked food. You know, I love food, I love it. So yeah, normal life, what do I miss? I'd probably say fish tanks, a pond, and, you know, smoking stuff. And when I say smoking stuff, I mean food. Don't quote and clip that. I ain't no stoner. Right, next question. What has 9 years on the road changed about you as a person? I suppose, wow, it's just taught me that you need to do what you want. You need to, you know, and this isn't quick. It took a long time for me to get to where I am. It's a slow process, but you need to be constantly striving for what you want and to live the life you want to live. That, as well as, you know, life's short. You just need to do what you want. You just need to, I mean, 9 years on the road, I mean, it's just taught me that I love my life. I love the life I've built, and I just want to keep doing it forever onwards. And that's kind of like, you know, if you've got that idea in your head, and you've got, and also it's just, you have an idea, and I had an idea about, you know, starting to live in a van and this, that and the other, but I didn't know where it was going to take me. But also having the, you know, I don't want to say guts, but having the I can't think of a better word, but having the guts to you know, follow a path and see where it takes you, as long as it feels right to you. And you know, I never knew I was going to be doing YouTube as a living and then quit lorry driving and doing this, that and the other. Who knew that I was going to be doing that? Because I didn't. And you know, it's a leap of faith, but it's, you know, things are never permanent. I can always go back to the lorries, you know, next week I could go back to the lorries. I could go, you know, within a month or two, I could go rent a place. I could then get rid of the motorhome and never see a motorhome again in my life if I really didn't want to. And that's never going to happen, because I love being on the road. But if I didn't like it, I could change it. And again, if I wanted to go and live somewhere else, if I want to go live in Scotland, I could go do that. You know, there's so many options out there. You're not limited to anything. You can do anything you want. You just have to figure out a plan, stick to it, and keep going. Keep going. But then be brave enough to, you know, follow them unknown paths, see where they take you. You know, that's all I really could answer. I don't know if that's a good answer or not. I really don't. If van life was banned tomorrow, what would you do next? If I'm honest about it, I would probably get a caravan or a static of some sort. Probably a caravan, nice tourer caravan. I would put it on a site, like a seasonal site, that I could get a seasonal pitch on, that I could then change whenever I wanted. Like, you know, do one season on this site and another season on this one, this one, this one, this one. And then I would probably still make videos along the lines of something, but then I would travel probably in a car or a stealth camper, like a little micro van or something like that. I'd make one of those, and then I'd still go off on little trips, but then I'd come back. But yeah, if this was, you know, ended tomorrow, then I'd still kind of figure a way out of doing it somehow. I wouldn't want to stop the kind of thing. I love the freedom. I love being able to, you know, travel and do this, that and the other, and go here, go there. Now, a lot of people ask, is van life hard? And I don't think it is. Now, I know I'm in a position where I've been doing it for a very long time, but I think it's the fear that holds a lot of people in. And I understand that. What you don't know, you don't know. And what you know, have never been taught or you don't know how to do, we're quite, you know, skeptical of and afraid of. So, you know, we do have a little, you know, peer into it and like, oh, is this good or bad? You know, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic life. And I would just say, yeah, just go for it, really. What gets harder the longer you do this lifestyle? It's a good question. That is a good question. I would say the thing that gets hardest, and I didn't even expect this or, you know, think this was a thing, was the fatigue, the travel fatigue, constant fatigue. Now, doing this lifestyle, you're always thinking, and I don't know if it's just my brain. I'd love to know, any of you full-timers out there, please do drop it in the comments if it's just me or if you do the same. But you're always thinking, it's like, where's my next park up? You know, what time I've got to leave? Am I all right here? Is this a safe park up? How long's my water going to last? How long, what's the weather tomorrow? What's the batteries like? Can I use this? Have I got enough solar? You know, LPG, where am I going to find that next? What's this? What's that? And it's just constant. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this lifestyle, but your brain never switches off. And then you've also got that thing of traveling a lot. You know, you are constantly moving, and this is the way I want to live, and this is the, you know, so I do find that's probably one of the things that gets harder the longer you do it, and you do get full-time travel fatigue because of the constant thinking, the constant moving, and always having to make decisions, and keep things in your mind always. Because like people that live in a house don't have to think about the gas. I know they have to pay bills, but they don't have to think about the gas. Is there gas? Are they going to run out of gas? They don't have to think about water. Are they running out? Have they got enough? Where, you know, like that. They don't have to think about the emptying the cassette or emptying the toilet or anything. They just flush. They don't have to think about power. You know, so just them four alone is a headache. Four major things that you have to constantly think about, without even finding Parkups. That's just without that. So. And it's something I didn't think was going to be a thing. I never even considered it. No one mentioned it in any of the videos that I watched when I started, or, you know, when I started and I was talking to other van lifers that I met. They, you know, but it has become a thing, and it is more spoke about, the longer people are doing this, and I think a lot of you guys will agree that are full-time, that it is a thing, and you know, you do get fatigued. Now, how do I combat that? Because I don't want to stop this lifestyle and I love this lifestyle. How do I combat it? I just take a break every now and again. Like, I will go to a campsite and I'll have 2 or 3 days on a campsite and I'll just stop. So then I know I'm good. I can just not think about the water, the cassette, my waste, my power, my Parkup. I don't have to move for 2 or 3 days. It doesn't have to be a campsite. It could be a CL. It could be, you know, something like that. But yeah, I do every now and again just take a few days to just stop, because it just helps, and that's how, you know, that's how I deal with that. Right, I think we are almost charged. So let's go and have a little look, shall we? Look at that, look at that, 98%. Look, there's frost. That's how cold it is. Now, like I did say in whilst I was in there answering a few questions, of which, if you've got any more, please do drop them in the comments or send me a message on Instagram. I did say this wasn't a sponsored video, and I do mean that, but Bruce has given me a discount code for the Juicy Brucey because he's a legend, and this is a game changer. It really is. So if you do want one of these, then if you use the code URBAN, he'll give you £15 off, because he's a legend, an absolute legend. And these are, like I say, game changers for winter van life. They really are. I'll put a QR code up here, scan the link in the description below, head on over and grab yourself a Juicy Brucey to be able to charge at EV points just like this. Now, before I unplug that and tell you how much this charging has cost me, I did say at the very start of this video that you, yes, you are to blame. Now, the question I had and my answer to go with this is, do you think influencers are ruining van life? Now, wait, hold up. I will say, on the whole, no. There are a few that, you know, I'm not naming names anyway, but in every niche, there are a few influencers that can do damage and saturate things, and too much exposure of some places, you know, get some swamps. Like during the summer, the NC 500, we all know, is packed, and then the locals don't like it. So have influencers done good or bad there? It's a double-edged sword. Depends on which side of the coin you're on. You know, if you're a business, then you're getting stacks of business. That's fantastic. You love it. If you're a local, then you hate it. When I say it's your fault, I'm talking about the van lifers that don't follow the unwritten rules. Now, last year I was at the Drove, and I'll put some pictures up on screen now. People, they've just reopened it, and people are already littering, they're already parking caravans, they've got gas bottles out, they've got generators out, and they're just treating it like an absolute dump. No respect whatsoever. And then you've got places like, I don't know, some beauty spots or some nice seafront places, real touristy stuff, and people park there and then they stay there for not one night, not 2 nights, which I still don't agree with, but it'll be 3, 4, 5, or a week. And then they wonder why van life is changing and why spots are getting taken away and why people are looking bad upon us and this and that. So it's them people, not you personally, because you're a legend, but the people that overstay and don't follow the unwritten rules, which is simple. The ultimate rule is, don't be a dick. That's it. Don't outstay your welcome. Don't annoy people. Use the spot, move on, come back in a couple of weeks. You don't have to stay there. That's what's ruining it. I don't think influencers are doing half as amount of damage as what that does. So who's doing the damage to van life? Not influencers. It's those certain individuals that just won't follow the unwritten simple rules, all of which can be found in my book. I mean, shameless plug there, but it's simple. Just don't be a dick. Don't outstay your welcome. Don't annoy people. Right, let me unplug the Juicy Brucey, and then we'll discuss money. How much has this cost? Everything is packed up. I am ready to hit the road and go find a Parkup. But the scores on the doors, how much do you think that cost? Now, bearing in mind, the prices of campsites are going up and up and up and up. They are getting a bit out of control, if you ask me. How much do you think? Drum roll, please. It was a whopping £4.14. £4! Now, I've just put 9.4 kilowatt hours in. One last thing before I go, I did say that I was thinking of doing something about the comment section. My videos go live at 7 AM on a Sunday morning, and I was thinking, I don't know how this is going to work, but I was thinking of being live in the comments for the first 2 hours of the videos going live, and then I can answer all the comments that come in within the first hour and a half, 2 hours, because then it's like we're rewarding the people that watch it first. I'm there, I'm in the comments, I'm going to answer them. Would you guys like that? Would that be beneficial, or do you just watch them as and when you want, you know, or you know, how would you like that? Because yeah, I'm thinking of just like trying to up my game a bit with the comments. I am, you know, I live on my phone as it is, so I try at my best to, you know, limit some of my social stuff, because I could just live on there constant. So I know it's not a good thing. I do need to try and you know, up my game in the comments. I do love you guys and I appreciate you no end. I couldn't do this without you lot. So yeah, would that be something you guys would like? Me live in the comments for the first hour to 2 hours when a video goes live? Drop that in the comments and I will get back to you on this one, on this video. I'll make it my mission to get back to everyone in the comments of this video. So if you really want to make my job epic, then make sure you all leave a comment, so I've got loads of comments to reply to. Right, on that note, I'll catch you lovely lot in the next one. Take it easy, bye.